Welcome to The Debate. Let's look directly at the fatal bug in the source material. We have India, a nation with nuclear weapons, a space program that's reached the moon, and the world's fourth largest GDP. Yet, at the same time, 300,000 people die there every year from reused syringes, and open defecation it's rampant. This isn't just poverty, it's a cultural operating system failure. The Hindu concept of purity keeps the home, the private sphere, spotless, but it designates the outside, the public sphere, as a dumping ground for anything impure.
Okay, but hold on. You're looking at the friction of incredibly rapid industrialization, and you're calling it a total failure? I mean, every single major power went through a phase of filth before they achieved cleanliness. The economic engine that's lifting millions out of poverty in India, that's real. To focus only on the hygiene crisis while, ignoring the unprecedented rise in life expectancy and wealth, that feels like a massive oversight.
But it isn't a phase. That's the critical misunderstanding. It's a fractal of the entire global capitalist system. You see messy streets, I see partial optimization leading directly to total ruin. It is the exact same mechanism the West uses. We optimize our private spheres, our nations, our homes, and we dump the entropy, the carbon, the plastic, into the outside, whether that's the global south or the atmosphere. But here's the problem. In a closed system like Earth, there is no outside. India's hygiene crisis isn't an anomaly. It is the logical end state of our current economic model.
I think you're conflating two different things there. Global trade externalities and local sanitation infrastructure are not the same problem. The average person today, thanks to the system you're calling a failure, is safer, richer, and lives longer than at any point in history. We have air conditioning, we have antibiotics, the internet. Why would we dismantle the engine that gave us all of this just because of a waste management issue?
You're suffering from survival bias. Claiming the current economy is a success because we have comforts it's like eating a gourmet meal on the Titanic and complimenting the chef while the water's rising around your ankles. What you call prosperity is effectively accounting fraud. We are borrowing resources from the future and externalizing our costs to the environment. That entropy, that inevitable disorder and waste from our energy use, it's now bouncing back. It's coming back as lethal viruses and climate collapse. The ship is taking on water and you're still focused on the buffet.
Look, most people are just trying to get by. But fine, let's follow your logic. If the system is so fundamentally broken, then individual actions like, me using a paper straw or recycling my plastic are completely meaningless, right? The system is just too big.
Precisely. That is the exact India logic I described. The belief that your small action doesn't matter because there's an away where the consequences go. There isn't. GDP growth under this model is a cancerous process. It literally exists to turn finite resources into waste just to keep money moving. So when you say individual actions don't matter, you're validating the very bug that is destroying the entire system.
So what's the alternative then? Total regression? I mean, the source material brings up the Sentinelese people on North Sentinel Island. These are people who shoot arrows at helicopters, they're primitive, they reject contact because they just don't know any better. You can't seriously suggest their way of life is superior to modern civilization.
The Sentinelese are not savages. They are the control group for humanity. They possess a superior OS that has lasted for thousands of years without crashing its ecosystem. Their violence toward outsiders is a highly functional firewall against the virus of modern civilization. They know, maybe just instinctively, that contact with us brings disease, destruction. They're protecting a sustainable system from a terminal one.
If our system was truly terminal, surely the experts would be screaming from the rooftops. We have thousands of climate scientists, economists. If the situation were as dire as you say, that we're a virus destroying our own host, why isn't the scientific community fixing it?
Because they are wearing a collar. Research funding is controlled by the growth economy. You cannot get a grant to prove that the very mechanism feeding you is a cancer. It's a structural trap. Scientists are suffering from Cassandra syndrome. They have the data, they can foresee the disaster, but they are cursed to be ignored because their findings contradict the global religion of infinite growth.
The data exists, it's just filtered out by the system's need to perpetuate itself.
But we can't just stop. You're asking for a complete halt to human progress. There has to be a middle ground, a way where we can maintain our quality of life, but also clean up the mess. We can't just abandon our entire way of life out of fear.
There is no middle ground with physics. The existing system is physically destined to crash due to entropy. You don't get to negotiate with gravity. The only rational investment is a hard transition to circular capitalism. We have to redefine waste as energy and make system maintenance the highest possible value. We stop extracting and start circulating. The choice is not between growth and stagnation or comfort and poverty. It is a binary choice between evolution and extinction.